Welcome to the Recovery Report Live, where our aim is to update, educate, and inform you weekly of valuable insights and actionable ideas for the real estate, business, and insurance industries. My name is Matthew Sengsourinh, Senior Vice President of GlobalPro, your insurance coverage experts before, during, and after any loss or damage. I'm coming to you live right here in our Griffin studio at GlobalPro HQ in Coconut Grove. We also have Dallas's in New York, Dallas, Washington, D.C., and Orlando. We represent over 1,100 community associations, as well as builders, contractors, developers, homeowners, business owners, local and state governments, private clients, and family offices. Our amazing team is made up of insurance professionals with extensive backgrounds and experience in law, finance, technology, engineering, and of course, insurance. Our pedigree, our experience, and our signature process, Ready Recovery Build, makes GlobalPro uniquely qualified to manage your risk to recovery. Over the last decade of advocacy, our team has managed the recovery of over $1 billion for our clients. Now let's get into the focus of today's show. Today we're going to talk about all things water damage. Specifically, we're going to talk about what to do if you've suffered water damage. I'm going to break today's show up into 4 different parts. We're going to talk statistics first. We're going to talk about what types of water damage are typically covered, what's not covered. For example, we get a lot of questions about broken pipes. I'm going to talk all about that today. I'm also going to help you describe your damage, right? Is it a leak? Is it a flood? Is it mold? Is it a drip, right? To tag on to that, I'm also going to talk about what happens if mold does grow from water damage, okay? So let's get started. Let me give you some water damage statistics that are mind-boggling, right? 14,000 people in the U.S. experience a water damage emergency at home or work every single day here in the United States. 98% of basements in the U.S. will experience some type of water damage during their lifespan. 37% of U.S. homeowners claim to have suffered losses from water damage. The annual cost to insurers from water damage and mold is $2.5 billion. The average cost per insurance claim is just under $7,000, $6,965. So the first question I can think of, right, is as an insured, what can you do to potentially prevent some of these occurrences from happening, right? Well, the first thing always, regular maintenance. Regular maintenance is important, it's impactful. Find a plumber, make friends with them, have them come over every 6 months, every year, every 2 years, whatever schedule you want to create and put together, and just let them come over and check everything, right? Pay attention to your toilets. Make sure they're flushing properly. Make sure they're not constantly running, right? Let them look for wear and tear on your plumbing system, right? All the 90 degrees, all the elbows, all the brackets, anywhere that pressure, right, might end up being too much for the pipe to take, that could potentially cause a break. These are all things that a plumber can help you do, and regular maintenance will help you get in front of, right? One of the things you always should make sure, right? Make sure you have a reliable sump pump. Make sure it's working. Make sure it's on. Make sure that the plumber takes a look at it on a regular schedule and continue to maintain it. One of the things you can do just on your own, right? Monitor your water bill. Is it up and down? Is it static? What's going on with that? If you have anomalies there, if you have instances where it's really high one month, there might be something going on. I want to talk about now, what's covered and what's typically not covered, right? For example, we often get asked about broken pipes and if broken pipes are covered, right? Burst or broken pipes or plumbing is a covered loss, right? But it's not the system that's covered. It's the ensuing damage, okay? So the pipe breaks and water gets all over, the floor, the drywall, whatever. The damage the water causes is what's covered in this situation. To access that pipe or system or whatever, you might have to take up a floor. You might have to open the drywall. You might have to move some things around in the house to get to that pipe to fix it. The access to getting to those pipes or systems is also covered. The pipe itself, or the system, usually it's how it's described, is not going to be covered, right? So, to think about it this way, the ensuing damage, always covered. The access to the pipe, always covered. Any system, is how it's worded in the policies, is not going to be covered. So, if it's a sudden or accidental water damage, right, like supply line or any appliance that starts to break down and causes water damage, or a pressurized water system that bursts, it's the ensuing damage and the access to those things to fix them is what's going to be covered. Any weather-related damage from rain, snow, or ice, typically going to be covered, These are things that are going to happen depending on the season and depending on where you're located in the country, right? What's not covered? Most importantly, we get calls all the time. I mentioned before, is it a leak? Is it a flood? Is it a drip, right? Flood is never covered. Groundswell or surface water, never going to be covered on the property policy. It may be covered if you have a separate flood policy, and typically all of those policies go through the NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program, right? So it's FEMA. It's a federal program. It insures for flood, and those claims, if that occurs, are some of the most rigid, most difficult, most complex claims to adjust and to get a recovery for. We can help you out with these. We do these all the time. Earthquake or earth movement, typically not covered. 99 times out of 100, not going to be covered. It's going to be an exclusion in most policies. Often we get calls from insureds about backup, right? So backup, whether it's sump pump related, whether it's sewage or drain, is not typically covered. You can, however, get coverage for this through an endorsement or an additional coverage that you pay for, which is going to be added to your premium, but it's something you have to ask for and talk about with whomever you're getting your policy from. So as a rule of thumb, it's not covered, but if this is something you want to be covered, definitely discuss it with your agent, your broker, or whomever you're insured through. All right, so we've talked about the different coverages here, whether different situations are covered or not covered. Let's talk about how to describe the damage. Right, I mentioned before, is it a leak? Is it a flood? Is it a drip? Is it a mold? Right? None of the above, okay? I would always call us first. I'll always argue that. Call us first. Let the experts handle everything for you. Let us ensure that the carrier is noticed properly. But it's never a leak. It's never a flood. It's never a drip. It's water damage. Very simple, very concise. Leave it at that, right? Keep your description of the damage very concise and simple, as I mentioned before, and never ever say leak, flood, drip, or anything in that nature. That'll kick you out of coverage and potentially prejudice the claim. The insurance company is not going to explain this to you. They're going to ask you what happened. They're going to try and get details about how, cause and origin, how it occurred, and things like that. Just tell them, I have water damage. I need someone to come take a look at it. Very easy, very simply. Okay. Now, what happens if it is mold and mold has grown, or you notice black mold, or you have it somewhere in the ceiling, the wall, anywhere? Again, don't call your carrier, right? Don't call them and tell them that you have mold. Call us first, right? But at the end of the day, mold typically is the lowest or smallest or least amount of coverage provided per your policy, right? But we all know that mold can only grow or manifest or show up, right, if there's water first. So something must be wet, right? So again, we would always err on the side of caution. I have water damage. I need you to come take a look at it. Please send someone out here to help me out. Now, the process has to occur in certain steps. First, you have to clean the mold, right? You have to call a mitigation company. We obviously can certainly help you out with that. We can begin the process for you, get the right people over there, get them going, whether it's a hygienist or a mitigation company right away. Once the mitigation company comes out there and they've started their process of drying out and cleaning it, they must also treat it. You need to prevent it from manifesting or growing further. Okay, so don't call your carrier and tell them you have mold. Again, is it a leak, flood, drip, or mold? No, it's water damage, right? Then you have to clean it. Make sure you have a water mitigation company come by, clean it up, rip out the drywall, make flood cuts, whatever they need to do. Then they're going to treat it and prevent it from manifesting and growing further. Okay? So now that you have a baseline, an understanding of what to do in the event of water damage occurring, right? You have some statistics. I want to leave you with some takeaways today, right? And the takeaways come from a presentation that we do for a lot of our associations, a lot of our homeowners and business owners, and we call it the 3 Ds of damage, right? So it's document, describe, and defend, right? You want to document everything. If water damage should occur, take pictures. Take pictures from different angles. Take pictures of the entire area where it occurred. Take up close pictures, take far away pictures, right? The more the better. If you're doing video is great too, obviously, but leave the commentary out. Don't talk during the video. Just take the video, show the damage. Your obligation as an insured is to prove that you've been damaged, that there is damage that has occurred. Okay, that's all you have to worry about. You don't have to describe it at this point. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to point it out. You just have to show it and keep it as evidence. Okay, document it. Okay, now describing is something we talked about before, right? Never say leak, flood, drip, mold, backup, for that matter, right? Take notes on what occurred and take the most important parts of those notes, whether it's an incident report for an association or a business owner or whatever, or if it's your own home, take notes and then take the most important parts of those notes and use very simple words and terms. Water damage, broken pipe, very simple, very concise. Don't talk about leak, flood, mold, drip, backup. Don't use words that could prejudice your claim and potentially kick you out of coverage, right? With that being said, right, there's a fine line also. You don't want to understate or minimize or underestimate the damages. It's very important, okay? Don't be the expert. Hire the experts, right? Let us manage your risk to recovery. Let the water mitigation company come in and manage the mitigation, the cleanup, the treatment of mold if it's there. Let them come in and make sure that it's taken care of, right? Now you need to defend, right? You've documented, you've described it. Now defend your rights as a policyholder, or if you're a community association manager, defend the rights of your association. Don't prejudice the claim, right? Develop a chain of custody for evidence. Never throw anything away. If it's a broken pipe, as an example, right? Make sure if you access the broken pipe, you take pictures the whole time, you take the broken pipe, the part that's actually broken, supply line, broken pipe, whatever, secure it, put it in a bag, put a little note, the date and time, who did it, who has actual, who's holding it, right? Who has actual custody. If someone moves it, takes it, touches it, write it down on the chain of custody form, right? Make sure that you're never throwing anything away, you're clearly marking evidence, and you're developing a chain of custody for the insurance company. They're going to ask. They're going to want to see, right? Mitigation contractors in general, cannot adjust your claims. They're not licensed to, right? They can't adjust your claims. They cannot represent you to the insurance company. There's no need for them to. Like I said, let the experts be the experts. Let everyone do their specific job and get your team to get you the highest result or the best result, right? Maximize your recovery and move on from there. Now, with that being said, recover before you rebuild. All right, we get this all the time. Everyone wants to obviously rebuild and fix everything right away, and we want to make sure that we're helping our insureds do that. However, in order to ensure that you're not under budget or underpaid, or that you properly are indemnified, right, and you return your property that was damaged to pre-loss conditions, make sure you recover first, right? Make sure you understand what the insurance company is going to pay you, and then figure it out from there, okay? To wrap all that up, right, call us first. Before you call the insurance company, give us a call. We can manage your risk to recovery. Everything we just described in the 3 Ds of damages, right, is what we manage for you, the insured. Okay, so call us first. We're always available, all right? So that's it. Thank you for joining us. A huge thank you to all of our attendees that continue to join us. For more tips and information, please check out our website at GlobalPro.com. You can, especially during storm season, follow us, engage with us, like us, subscribe to us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. We have up-to-date information on all things hurricane season, all things maintenance and what to do and how to do them, all over our social media platforms and LinkedIn. Soon we might possibly have a TikTok page. I'm waiting for Renee to come back with some ideas and set that all up. You can go on all those social media platforms and LinkedIn and just search GlobalPro, and we'll usually come up right at the top. Of course, if you should experience loss or damage, you know what to do. Call us first. Our team stands ready to assist you 24/7, 365. Call us at 855-487-7475 or email us directly at recover@globalpro.com. And that's the Recovery Report Live. I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me. See you next week, same GlobalPro time, same GlobalPro channel. Mr. Daniel Beal-Dess will be here himself, and we'll look to learn more. Take care. Have a great rest of the week. See you soon.